I'm very fortunate. The man that I am married to, Senator Vincent Hughes, 7th Senatorial District of Philadelphia, he has his own life. I have my own life. He has his own real career. I have my own real career. He has his light to stand in. I have my light to stand in. So he is not looking at me thinking about status or this or that. He's doing his thing. I get to do my thing. We also live in separate places. When I go to see him, love to see him. When it's time to leave, bye-bye, see you soon. I'm telling you, life is good. Perfect. I get to be the real good wife.
Hey, where the bitches at? It's supposed to be titties. Where the fucking titties and the bitches?
You notice how she doesn't even talk about him like he's a human being and whatnot. She talks about him like they're, I don't know, like they're in some kind of a program together, or maybe the military or something. Maybe they're partners. Literally partners. We always hear that shit. They always refer to supposed husbands as partners and shit. I'm like, okay, if we're partners, we're in a business arrangement. I don't think that requires a marriage license and whatnot. We can just go to a notary or some attorneys and make an agreement to cohabitate or whatever, but I guess a sugar baby agreement. I was stricken when I heard her talking and whatnot in such, I don't know, stuffed shirt tones and shit, almost sounding like Obama and shit, this fake pride and shit when she spoke about her a politician husband and how they didn't cohabitate, they didn't live together and shit. And he just visits her and then he goes about his business and shit. So I'm like, well, what's to separate you from being a woman of the night shit other than a piece of paper, bad faith legally binding contract and whatnot. I hated the way that she sounded talking about him and shit. And I guess she's a boomer. I think she's a boomer. Maybe she's a Gen Xer at the very beginning of it or something. I don't know. I know she's an old broad and shit. I look at her as an old broad. I'm 50. I'm 55. Okay? And I remember when she was young, I looked at her and I just saw, I saw like the girl next door. I didn't think about her one way or the other and shit. And I definitely wasn't, getting a sock and putting on my junk for her and shit. Okay? She was not, I just consider her like a regular person that would, get married and live happily ever after with a guy and shit and build something. I always thought she was, regular. I didn't think nothing was special about her. I didn't see her as a star. I mean, she was a performer and everything. She had that talent and shit. She's done some movies. And, she married this politician and shit. He's a successful politician. And she doesn't even talk about him like a human being. They've been together for so many goddamn years and shit. Yeah, she has no love for him. Okay, I didn't hear any love for him. She's just like, okay, you came over for whatever reason. Now, see you later. Tell your story walking, do the walk of shame or whatever. I don't know how the guy feels about it. Maybe they have an open marriage. She's not, woman enough to just say that they have an open marriage agreement and shit. That she finds her satisfaction wherever she finds it, between a man's legs or a woman's legs or whoever. I get tired of this propaganda and shit. It's ruined our community. This supposed black community. And because of her attitude and attitudes like this is why I refer to my ethnic community as a supposed black community and shit. Because it's nothing organic. These women just want to come up. They really do want partners. They don't want no fucking husbands. And, men want wives. Okay? They want someone that's going to be there. Someone that's going to love them and support them and shit. Okay? They don't understand, the nature of masculinity and femininity and shit. It's yin and yang and shit with this little bit of each other and each and shit. They fit together like puzzle pieces. These women don't understand that shit. Don't get married. I ain't saying it from a place of bitterness and shit, okay? Trust me on this. I've had more misfires than, catching a brass ring and everything. My experience growing up and shit, as such as it is and shit. I should be bitter and angry and shit, but I'm self-reflective. I'm optimistic about relationships. Maybe not so much for myself, but for, you people out there, you men out there, you black men out there specifically and shit. We're supposedly the least discerning men on the planet and shit, which makes us viable to a number of women that don't fit, you know, acceptable criteria within their own ethnic circles and shit. They pursue us and shit. It's been a point of contention in my formative years, my formative adult years, and I just find her tone and, people big up in it, women that's, in particular, I saw Whoopi Goldberg talking about that, but she doesn't have a leg to stand on after being with Ted Danson for years and enduring retarded shit with him and just doing the most demeaning shit, being an operative, on the whole blackface thing. I could give a shit about what any feminist would say in 2025 about, successful relationships and whatnot. They are against that. They are fighting that. They are fighting to tear down the nuclear family and make sure it stays teared down. They're making sure that women, the women in this supposed ethnic community will never come to terms with anything about themselves. They need self-realization and find a way to pair bond and come together with their men and shit. Black love is dead as long as these women are, you know, alive. Okay? I was disgusted by Sheryl Lee Ralph and shit. I want to tell you, you're no big shakes and shit. I don't think that politician that you're married to, that senator, I don't think he's talking about you in such glowing terms the way you're talking about him. I liken it. You're talking to him about him the way some rich older guy, some rich you know, high value guy would talk about his sugar baby. You're talking about him like that. He's just a trophy for you. Okay? Back in the day, you were a regular person and shit. You just happened to be a performer and an entertainer and an actress and shit. And whatever the fuck else you are and shit. But you're not a snack, okay? You're not, I wouldn't be talking about you like you talking about him, like you were some kind of trophy or something that, other than your career, right? And I think it's shitty. I think you should call that man up and apologize to him for that shitty ass interview, putting this garbage out there in 2025 and shit. We need people to come together, not go apart and shit. And I'm a misogynist anarchist and shit. And I have enough wherewithal to say these things and shit, be quite honest about it and shit. I think that these young men and some of these goddamn women, they need to have the proper information to make informed decisions about what they want to do with their lives, so they just end up in a dead end and shit, kissing the wall. This is exactly where you want them to be and shit. You daughters of bell hooks and all these other motherfuckers, and the progenitors of what you call misogynoir and all that bullshit. It's just word salad, okay? I'm a meat and potatoes motherfucker. Thematically and shit, mentally, philosophically, sorry. I am a black man and shit, so, a lot of the misanders that happen upon this, so just think I'm dumb anyway, so, just because I tripped over those fucking words don't mean nothing. I'm really, I really was put off by the way she talked about her husband. He was just a trophy. And it's just a thing in her collection. Shit, look, I got this guy. I got a high value guy, even though I'm, moderately toned black woman with barely a average body and shit and an okay face. And a variety of wigs that I wear and hairstyles and shit. And I was in a movie with Denzel Washington and all this old bullshit. Maybe she dated the motherfucker. I could care less and shit. He was slumming. If you were actually with him or any successful black man before you got with this politician and shit, they were just using you as a prop, the way you're using your husband now and shit. Getting back to Mr. Washington, he would not be seen in an interracial love scene with women outside of the ethnic group and shit, because he knew it damaged his fan base and shit. Okay, he knew that his base was comprised of a large number of black women, and so he was not going to betray them and shit, to betray the brand. I wish you thought the same about your husband, your politician husband, in these troubling times. Right? You're out of pocket. Okay? You're out of pocket. And hey, you got a shitload of bags of money and property and all these generational wealth and shit, but you got no knowledge and you got no grace, or you got no discretion and shit. You were a shrew that is truly untamed and shit. You decided to take your mask off and show your ass to the world. Thank you. Okay, thank you, Miss Ralph. Thanks for nothing.
The Black Patriarchy. A non-existent group of fictional black male power brokers not discredited, erroneously jailed or outright killed by the minority majority who look the other way as they work tirelessly to shame, oppress, and outright take out the altruistic black female populace of the honorable democratic United States of America. 3K's inset bitches. These evil wealthy members of the black patriarchy are the sole reason for all the ills of the black community, walking, talking, holding down jobs, and doing everything up to and including giving their very lives in service to their baby mamas and baby's motherfucking kids. Their motto that strikes fear into the hearts of black women everywhere: bitches ain't shit but hoes and tricks.